Dawn Landis is playing live today here at WNCW. Her new record, Meet Me at the River, and includes that song, What Will I Do? That's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talking about going in the studio, I know you had some amazing musicians there. And it's always interesting to me how, like, songs change from in the studio, going out on the road with different bands, or playing by yourself. Talk about all that.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to play with such different musicians. But, I mean, in the studio, Fred and Kyle Lenning was engineering, and he's an incredible producer, too. He was involved with the project from the beginning. He and Fred kind of roped in the best, I think, I mean, the cream of the crop Nashville musicians, who were all so reverent to Fred, you know, and so excited to be in the studio with him. But yeah, I'm trying to think. There's so, and we did 2 sessions, so there a few of the guys played on everything, but it kind of rotated. Like Bobby Wood played piano on the Whiskey song, and Russ Paul played on a couple songs. He played pedal steel. He's great. And oh my gosh, Steve Gibson. I think he's maybe the music director he's the head of the band or leader of the band for the Opry maybe right now, or he was at some point. And Larry Paxton, who also plays on the Grand Ole Opry, played bass and sort of the music director of the sessions. So.
Those guys are just amazing musicians, aren't they?
They're incredible.
They're the best.
And they've played. You look them up, and they've played on everybody's records.
Every record ever made.
Charlie McCoy played harmonica and vibes, and he's played with Dylan. Sure. And I mean, we had and the stories flying around. I mean, there wasn't a lot of time, but like you hear like Reba McEntire and Dionne Warwick. You know, you hear like all kinds of names being thrown around.
Was that surreal for you?
Oh yeah, yeah. But
and so then you bring them out here and you're playing solo. I know when you go on the road, sometimes you have a band.
I do, yeah.
Do the songs feel the same? Do they stay the same, or do they?
I think anytime you play music with a new person, they bring something to it, which is kind of cool. But as of late, I've been playing a lot with some friends of mine from Louisville, and that's been really fun to reconnect with those guys because that's where I grew up. And Chris Rodehofer, who's playing steel, we went to high school together, and that's been fun it just feels really easy. It feels really good to play music with those guys.
You're getting ready to go on a pretty good tour in Europe, like in a couple weeks or something like that?
Yep.
You lived in France for a while?
I did. I feel like it's sort of every songwriter's like rite of passage to go live in Paris for a couple months, right. You know, a la Joni Mitchell. And I don't know. I didn't bring in my dulcimer, but I did bring my acoustic guitar. And I toured a lot over there. For some reason, my first 2 records came out on French labels, so I was touring in Europe a lot, 10 years ago.
So what do you think? What's going to be the reception of this music?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
Are you bringing a band, or is it just?
I'll have a band on some of the shows, like London and probably Paris. But my husband's coming. He's going to play keyboards with me, and we'll probably play most of this stuff as a duo. But yeah, which works. It works for fun. It's really fun.
Do you sing in French? Is that part of your?
A little bit. I wrote a French EP. Which is like a 6 or 7 songs. And I actually made it into a book. So cool. My friend is a graphic novelist, and she illustrated the songs. And it's pretty cool. It's sort of, my French is very remedial because I only lived over there for maybe half a year total. But I took lessons, and I studied French songs, really. That's how I learned to speak the language, was learning the songs. So, and then I wrote a bunch of them, which was fun.
You mentioned a book. Are you telling stories as a songwriter? Is that mainly what?
I mean, I think all songs are little stories, but specifically these, I was inspired by this old record that I found in a French market. It was a book fair, actually, and it was at Georges Brassens Park. And if you know Georges Brassens' music, he was from the 1930s. Really, he had a big mustache, mustache, and everything was in 3/4 time, and it was really fun. And but I found a book / record of his. It was Georges Brassens chante pour les enfants. He sings for the children, and there are these great songs, and they had these beautiful illustrations, and it was in this gorgeous book / record package, and I'd never seen anything of that style before. So I wanted to do something like that. So I did it.
Cool.
Yeah. You can get it on my website,
Your website is
dawnlandis.com.
Yeah, nice and easy.
Yeah.
So, and again, this new river, we've been enjoying it from day one.
Aw,
Meet me at the river.
thank you.
Yeah.